What does Chicago do with these two goalies?
You know, it's really weird, Alex, that the fact that Crawford started last night is he also started the game against Montreal. Now, that's his hometown. He's a god against the Habs. It's unreal, but it's very weird to me that at the same time where Lehner doesn't get the start in Toronto, which you know he hates the Leafs from when he was a Sabre, that these comments come out. That's not a coincidence. Also, I have a lot of time. If I'm ever lucky enough to fully break into the sports media industry, I will always have time for Robin Lehner because, Alex, on my phone, of course, you can do the favorite pictures in that on iOS and that. And I have two things I have favorite. I have this old video, and I have a screenshot of a tweet. And this tweet is actually a quote from the NHL Awards. And it's, of course, Robin Lehner saying, quote, "I'm not ashamed to say I'm mentally ill, but that doesn't mean I'm mentally weak," end quote. That's when he won the Masterton Trophy.
Right.
It shows how far he's come. And I really do think he deserves to get that fair deal. And if I am him, I don't think it's with the Blackhawks. And again, like I just said about the whole thing, this comes out around the same time they're in Toronto. If you want to make headlines, you say something when you're in Toronto. I don't know. Yeah, there are some red flags I'm seeing there. And I don't think it's going to go. And Chicago seem to have a thing of loyalty, so I think they're probably going to re-sign Crawford. I really do.
And that's another sign of Stan Bowman should not be part of the rebuild. And I get it. It's great to have have the gang back together. You got Taze, and Kane. You have Duncan Keith. You have Brent Seabrook. Why not have Corey Crawford? It does not. He's yes. You got Alex DeBrincat. You have Dylan Strome. You got some young guys there, but it really doesn't make sense for some of these guys. You have to tear it down. I think it would be best for this team, but as long as you have Taze and Kane, I don't think you can tear it down.
I mean, it's a big decision. I mean, you think that maybe it's the Jim Rutherford thought of, hey, I try and win as much as I can. Both Taves and Kane both have 4 years at 10.5, but they just haven't done a good enough job, really drafting and developing great players. I mean, they got lucky with Strome, they really did. I wasn't a huge fan of the Jokiharju deal. They got lucky with Dominic Kubalik. Let's be very honest here. The Kings messed up there. And I think they made the wrong moves when it comes to say what you want about Yalmerson's injuries. I mean, that was such a mistake. Think of what he could do for that team there. And imagine instead of Oli Mata, you've got like a Gustafsson Yalmerson type thing with Duncan Keith there too. And maybe if he takes a few steps forward in the past, next year or two, you have Adam Bogfist there too. And I mean, let's be honest there. Maybe if you don't do something as stupid as the Seabrook deal and you don't trade this player for Brandon Saad, you have all the money you need to keep Panarin. And how many steps does that take you towards winning again?
I understand why they give these deals because that's the past. You win your cups and then you get your payday. Is kind of what happened there, right? Even with Taze and Kane.
Yeah.
It's just hasn't really gone their way. They need to. I think the best thing for them would be to completely tear it down. Does that mean trading Taze or Kane? That is an extremely tough decision.
You could get a lot. I mean, you could get a lot at your game.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if that's the route they're going to go down, though. I don't think it is. It would create a whole lot of controversy in Chicago if they were to completely tear it down.
But if they realized the position they were in I was about to say the position they were in, but let's be honest. They overreacted to Pekka Rinne. The city of Chicago should hate Pekka Rinne.
Well, did they not trade Panarin after that?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure the Sod trade came after that. The Sod for Panarin. That's when everything went downhill.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like that. Listen, Eric. Like, I look at this team and okay, so you get if you're set on bringing Corey Crawford back, which I wouldn't be surprised if they are, you can get something for Robin Lehner. You can get something for Eric Gustafsson. I mean, everyone else on their NHL roster is RRFAs.
Yeah, Panarin was traded after the sweep, like that summer.
God. Like, they have young players who can come up and play, like, who will eventually be able to come up and play. But I think they're in this weird cap hell. I guess it's extremely helpful that Seabrook and DeHaan, well, DeHaan and Seabrook are both out this year. Seabrook is out next year as well. I guess that's helpful for them.
He's probably going for good.
Seabrook is probably headed to Arizona. Pretty much. I think they put themselves in a sticky situation.
Oh yeah, they're far from those dueling cup days with the LA Kings.
Because I never understood the Lehner signing the day it happened.
Yeah.
Because you signed Colin Delia last year to a 3-year extension at $1 million. So you have he's 25. He had an okay year last year. Like, he's still growing into I'd argue an NHL backup. I don't know why you'd bring in Robin Lehner, because Robin Lehner isn't the guy you bring in as a backup. He's a starter or a 1A, 1B. I think at this point kind of proved himself as he can be your starter.
Vezina finalist, Robin Lehner.
Yeah. It just didn't make sense. It didn't seem like that was the team he was going to. You know who could really use a Robin Lehner right now? Oh, I guess not anymore, but could have used a Robin Lehner?
Would it happen to be the team that is realizing that Mackenzie Blackwood could be a viable option?
Oh, yeah, them too. I wasn't thinking about that.
Oh, who?
I was thinking about Columbus.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. Pre-realizing that Elvis Merzlikins is a god?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I read you some stats from Dmitry Filipovich?
I love nothing more than that man's Twitter.
Elvis Merzlikins in his last 4 games, 4 wins, 3 shutouts.
What?
Stopped 134 of 136 shots faced.
Cool.
I'll let that sink in for a little bit.
Remember when we were trying to figure out how to pronounce his name?
Merzlikins.
And now he's the second coming of Elvis.